Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Jay, and welcome to another English lesson here on the channel where I have the opportunity to help you with your English comprehension, vocabulary, and your English fluency. Now, on today's lesson, I have an advanced story that we're going to read through. If this is your first time on the channel, one of the best ways to improve your English is through reading. I normally do read and repeat lessons, and I also do listening practice. And today I'm going to do an advanced English story. So today I'm going to be talking fast. I am going to assume that you understand most of the words, if not all of the words. And I'm going to be very upbeat, okay? So you're going to have to keep up. This will be an advanced level reading story. Now, you can follow along with today's story. I have placed it down in the description of today's lesson, along with other links of some of my previous lessons that you can study and watch and listen to while you're driving, while you're working out, while you're parachuting on a canoe. It does not matter. I have plenty there for you. Now, hang around until the end. I also have quiz questions to test your comprehension. Okay, so let's dive into today's story and get ready for a little bit of learning and laughter. Kevin decided it was time to introduce his two teenage kids to the world of Star Wars. So he planned a special outing to the theater. Okay, I can remember back when I was a child, okay, in the 80s, when my father took me and my sister to see Star Wars. I remember going to see Star Wars. I remember going to see Return of the Jedi. Both of these at the theater. And now many of these shows are on streaming services, and my wife and I watch them. If you're into Star Wars, do you remember the first time you watched Star Wars? Who are some of your favorite characters? Let me know down in the comment section. I'm a Han Solo type of guy. I like Han Solo. I like Chewbacca. Okay, I like Boba Fett. And of course, Darth Vader, who is like one of my top 5 villains of all time. The anticipation was palpable as they drove to the cinema, the kids buzzing with excitement. Kevin had grown up with the epic saga, and he couldn't wait to see their reaction. Now, I must say, I don't know if today's kids are as excited about Star Wars as we were, especially today's teenagers. I'm not sure. Let me know down in the comment section. What do you think about that? Do you think today's kids are excited about Star Wars? Okay. I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, notice here in this sentence, we have a vocabulary word. Okay. The anticipation was palpable. So it was noticeable. It was something that was obvious, something that was easy to see. Okay. Now, I know I used the word cinema in this particular sentence. We normally say theater or movies. Okay. You rarely hear people use the word cinema in English conversations. I'm going to the cinema. It's usually, can we go to the theater or the movies? Okay. But I have to switch it up every now and then. They loaded up on popcorn, candy, and drinks, finding the perfect seats in the middle of the theater. They loaded up. Okay, so when you load up something like a vehicle, like a car, load it up, you put things into it. Okay, so when you load up on popcorn, you go to buy the popcorn, the candy, and the drinks. Now, some people, when they go to the theater, they want the entire experience. Even though the candy, popcorn, and drinks are expensive. I mean, good gracious, popcorn can cost you $20. Matter of fact, popcorn and a drink can cost you about between $15 to $20 here in Georgia. Let me know, is that about the same price where you are? I don't buy candy at the theater. I'll do popcorn and drinks, but not the candy. It's too expensive. Too expensive. As the iconic opening crawl began. Crawl. So when the movie, you know how it starts out in Star Wars, you'll see it go from the bottom, it crawls to the top, the credits, they go just like that. That's the crawl. Kevin felt a rush of nostalgia while his kids' eyes widened with or in wonder. Nostalgia. That's when you think of something back when you were younger. Okay. It has, as we would say, a nostalgic feel. Okay. It being 2024, Star Wars started back in the 1970s. And to watch it now, it would probably remind you of when you were younger, when you were a child or a teenager. It has a nostalgic feel to it. We say, man, that really took me back. That made me think of something from back in the day. It was nostalgic. The spectacular visuals and thrilling battles captivated them immediately. During the epic lightsaber duels, Kevin glanced over to see his kids on the edge of their seats, completely enthralled. So they were completely engaged. Okay. They were completely blown away. Their attention was right on the screen. Okay. They were enthralled. When the film ended, they couldn't stop talking about their favorite scenes and characters. Okay. And like I said, Chewbacca. Oh my goodness. One of my favorite characters. Darth Vader. Do you remember the Ewoks, those little small creatures that they my wife loves Ewoks. Okay. I can't find anybody who doesn't like Ewoks. Kevin felt a sense of accomplishment, having shared a piece of his childhood with them. On the ride home, they excitedly discussed watching the rest of the series together. It was a memorable experience, one that they would cherish for years to come. Okay, so that's going to do it for the story. Now I am going to read through the same story without stopping at a much faster pace. So let's see if you can keep up with me as well as continue to comprehend what I am reading and saying. You ready? Let's get into it. Kevin decided it was time to introduce his two teenage kids to the world of Star Wars, so he planned a special outing to the theater. The anticipation was palpable as they drove to the cinema, the kids buzzing with excitement. Kevin had grown up with the epic saga, and he couldn't wait to see their reactions. They loaded up on popcorn, candy, and drinks, finding the perfect seats in the middle of the theater. As the iconic opening crawl began, Kevin felt a rush of nostalgia, while his kids' eyes widened in wonder. The spectacular visuals and thrilling battles captivated them immediately. During the epic lightsaber duels, Kevin glanced over to see his kids on the edge of their seats, completely enthralled. When the film ended, they couldn't stop talking about their favorite scenes and characters. Kevin felt a sense of accomplishment, having shared a piece of his childhood with them. On the ride home, they excitingly discussed watching the rest of the series together. It was a memorable experience, one that they would cherish for years to come. All right. Now it's time for some quiz questions, okay? It's time for some quiz questions. Now, let me say this. I have how many? 3 today. I'm going to ask a bonus one at the end that's not going to be on the screen. As I was reading, it made me think of a great question to ask. Let's get into it, okay? How did Kevin's kids react to watching Star Wars for the first time in the theater? How did they react? What do you remember? Number 2, what emotions did Kevin experience during the movie and why? I took my time and explained that in today's story. What emotions did Kevin experience during the movie and why? Number 3, how did the family plan to continue their experience with Star Wars after watching the first film? Okay, what did they plan to do? And a bonus question, number 4, or a bonus question. When you go to the theater, do you prefer to sit in the middle, the back, or right up front where you're looking straight at the screen like that? Where do you prefer to sit? Me, I prefer to sit on the aisle in the back. For some reason, I don't like people sitting behind me because they'll start talking and disturbing me. I like sitting right on the end towards the back of the theater. That's the bonus question. Where do you like to sit in the theater? In the front, the middle, or the rear of the theater? Do you still go to the theater, or do you stay at home and just stream your movies? Every now and then, we prefer to go to the theater. My wife and I went to see the new Bad Boys film last week, and so that was a great time at the theater with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. That was really great. Well, before we get out of here, don't forget, students, I have my English workbook on Amazon that you can go and get, and you can take all of your notes. You can do lesson plans, goals for the week. All of that is in there. Actually, I have one right here. And it has everything in here you need to take notes, vocabulary words that you can keep up with, study planners for the week, weekly goals, so much in here. This is on Amazon, and the link is down in the description. Also, be sure to check out the podcast, Improved English Podcast. If you haven't been watching that, the link to that is down in the description. Or if you're watching me on your television, you can scan the QR code and it will take you to that playlist. Well, as always, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thanks for all of the comments, and to all of the new subscribers, I want to welcome you to the channel. Appreciate you subscribing. As I always say, if you have been encouraged and helped by today's lesson, be sure to share it with a friend. If you notice, I never ask anybody to like or subscribe, because if you like the content, I figure you'll like and subscribe. If not, you won't do it, or you'll give me a thumbs down. So I don't even ask. I don't even ask anymore. But I am so grateful for everyone that watches and comments and shares. I am so thankful and grateful. And I hope that my lessons are fun as well as informative. Until next time, be sure to drop down and answer those questions in the comments section, and enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope you join me on my next English lesson. I hope to see you then.